Easy people, welcome back to the channel. We are the South Stand MCFC and we're here tonight on the eve of a big game with our new European derby friends, I'd like to say. The rivalry's intense over the years, Real Madrid. And I've brought on a special guest. Farouk is from the Let's Be Real podcast. It's a Real Madrid podcast. I first linked up with 4 years ago, I think. We've linked up with these guys in Madrid. They've got men on the ground in Madrid. So there's no one better. Farouk, welcome to the new channel. How are you, my friend?
I'm good, man. It's a pleasure to be here, man. As you said, we've linked up a couple of times, and it's been 4 years on the trot. We've been doing this, and last year we got to link up in person in Madrid as well. After the first leg, so it's an honor to continue this friendship and this partnership with you, man.
Yeah, I said I was on your channel last night, and we had a little brief chat about the game. So we'll start it again. This season for Manchester City, you watching from afar, we've been having our struggles. It's not been straightforward. It looks like the league title is over. We just scraped through the Champions League group stage. Well, not group stage, the league stage by, beating Bruges the last game. We've had some crazy results, you know what I mean? We've been beating Juventus. We got beaten Sporting Lisbon. We dropped a 3-goal lead to Feyenoord. So usually when me and you get together, I'm full of chest. We're Manchester City. Got to respect us. We're coming. We're going to have a go in that. And listen, we always have a go and we're ready for it. But I feel like this game, a lot of Manchester City fans are excited, but a little bit scared. But then me talking to you guys last night, Farouk, I don't think your season's been as good as you really wanted it to be. And you've got some concerns. So, first of all, just from yourself, outside looking in, what are your thoughts on Manchester City this season?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's been quite unfortunate. One thing about City is you always know what you're gonna get with them. It's always the same thing for the past 7-8 years. Like what it is. And honestly, we talked about this. Like Manchester City has become a team that right now you have to respect. Like you have to put the respect to name. When you go to the Etihad, is a stadium that literally strikes fear into the opposition. Like literally, teams are going there now to play with a certain kind of respect that was not there 5-6 years ago. And this season you just look at the team and I don't want to use the word shambolic, but it's been something that you just cannot identify. Like oh, is this Pep? Is this City? It's been quite I mean, you guys were 3-0 up against Feyenoord and you lost in the last 15 minutes, the last 20 minutes. I'm like, this is something that will never happen to a Pep team because, Pep is a master of control and this and that. They do not play chaotic football and what is and what is not. So it's, looking at City this season, it's been quite, it's been quite surprising, honestly. I wasn't, expecting City to have this much of a drop-off, but again, the injuries haven't been kind to you guys, the loss of certain players, Julian Alvarez, just to name, one. So I think all of that, have just come to, and also the agent squad as well. I think, that's one thing, maybe the Manchester City has overestimated, what they could squeeze out of this, group of players once more. But yeah, it's been unfortunate so far, but it is what it is, man. As you said, it's Man City. They're literally now, at the very top echelon of football, so they're gonna give it a go. It's Madrid against City. You never, this is one of those games that I think, like the form actually just goes out of the window. Honestly, it's a game that it doesn't matter how good or how bad these two teams are. Like it's a game that both teams are gonna come, show up, and give it their best.
No, I agree. And yeah, we've been going through it internally on the Manchester City channels, especially on this channel, trying to put our finger on it. I think we've sort of, it's a mixture of things. Rodri, not replacing Alvarez, aging players, maybe thinking we were a little bit, we could probably do another season. We got away with it a couple of seasons and it didn't work out. So we've been forced in January to go into the market. We've signed a few players, Mamouche, Cousinov, Reyes, and Nico Gonzalez. It does look like Nico Gonzalez is going to be fit. I've seen pictures of him training today, which is a blessing because after the game at Leyton Orient, we thought he'd had a bit of a welcome to English football tackle, but he seems to be okay. I've looked at the Madrid team, Farouk, and when you start reading the team from the back, it makes you feel good. And then you get to the midfield and you start to get a little bit sadder. And then you look at the attack and it nearly makes you fucking cry, mate. So this is going to be a game where I think we can get something at your defence. I do think that we can have a go if we go a bit brave. But I also think that Mbappe, Rodrigo, Vinicius Junior, Akanji.
Yeah,
I don't know what's going to happen, man. But you must be feeling confident with your strike force, but then obviously your defence is looking patched up. Explain it to the City fans. What's the general feeling in Madrid about this game? Are you a bit nervous for it, or do you think no, we'll get City out the way, or are you like you said before, it's a bit like the form goes out the window, you don't know what to expect?
Honestly, that's the thing, because we consume a lot of English media, everyone talks about, how City is depleted, there's injuries here and there, the form is in and out. And the thing is, Steve, because we're first in the league, people kind of misunderstand what Real Madrid has been this season. Honestly, this season, if anyone goes on our shows, they will see that we've always complained literally every game. And when you look at the big games we've played this season, Barcelona, we lost twice. We conceded 9 goals against Barcelona in 2 games. We haven't defeated Atletico Madrid this year. We were, 2-0 down against Borussia Dortmund at the Bernabeu. Eventually, we won individual brilliance. We lost to AC Milan at the Bernabeu. We lost to Liverpool at Anfield. So it's been really, really, a really subpar season. We got in Kylian Mbappe. Expecting to just move to the next level as defending, champions of the league and European defending champions as well. Unfortunately, we have been unable to, move through the years. We lost Toni Kroos in the summer, and then injuries has been very, very, we've been very unfortunate with injuries. We literally have a whole back line out. David Alaba, Rudiger, Militao, and Dani Carvajal all out. You understand? And now we're going to play Fede Valverde, our best midfielder, as a right back. We're going to play Chouameni, a midfielder, as a center back. We're going to play Asensio, literally someone who 2 months ago did not even know that there was a chance to play for Real Madrid in his life. He was from the academy, Now he's actually right now the best center back we have. And then we're going to play either Ferland Mendy or Fran Garcia. And as you said, that defense actually, man, as we were saying yesterday, the likes of, when you look at, maybe they might have deficiencies, the likes of Jeremy Doku, the likes of Savinho, but these are players that are gonna bond these guys on toast, man. One-on-one against players like Marmoush and Haaland, it's gonna be fisting for your attackers as well, but yeah. But then you go forward and you see, in the middle of the park, you look at, you got Jude Bellingham there, you got, Vinicius, and you got Rodrigo, and I'm just even focused on Vinicius. For me, whenever we've played City, I've always worried about Kyle Walker. He was the one player that I always was like, yeah, man, we need to get this guy out of this game, because of the work he has done, against Vinicius Junior. And that's the thing, the defenders actually go around, we have to kick this guy, we have to hold him down, we have to do, no. Kyle Walker actually plays man-to-man to Vinicius Junior. It's a proper duel between those two guys. And I would say maybe Vini has only come up once out of 4 meetings, I guess. You understand? So he has been a very big kryptonite for our team, and we like to attack down the left, and Kyle Walker literally almost nullifies our game. But now in the absence of Kyle Walker, man, I wouldn't lie to you, man, gives me a lot of confidence. Gives me a lot of confidence to what we can get on that side, and especially because both Vinicius and Kylian Mbappe likes to exploit that left wing. So I'm thinking, man, if it's a 20 against those guys, 1v1 situation, man, it's going to be Christmas.
Yeah, Mbappe and Vinicius Junior against Mateus Nunes at right back doesn't sound very good. It's like a horror movie to me, that. I don't know what Pep's got up his sleeve tomorrow. We spoke about it last night, maybe playing Akanji at right back. Yes, he'd get roasted for pace, but he's got a little bit more experience, where, for me, he could probably not get caught too far forward, stand off Vinicius Junior a little bit, make sure he have a good winger in front of him. So I'm thinking he's got something up his sleeve. We've seen pictures of Jeremy Doku training today. Savinho. It would be brave for Pep to go full float at the Etihad with the way we've been, getting caught this season. But I'll be honest, as a Manchester City fan of a certain year, I'd rather go for it. Let's go for it. We need to take something back to the Bernabeu. We've experienced the kick in the bollocks in the Bernabeu before, when we thought we were through, and within 2 minutes, 1 minute we're booking a trip to Paris. The next minute we're booking a trip to Blackpool with the kids. So, life comes at you fast at the Bernabeu. So I do believe we got to take something there. But you are right. Your attack is scary, but Erling Haaland, Savinho, Foden, De Bruyne, Mamouche, Doku, there's definitely some options for us to get a bit, a bit of joy against Madrid. So the midfield could prove to be where it's won and lost. If Manchester City can keep the ball, keep control of the ball, and keep it away from them attackers, then we have done that in the past. You came to the Etihad the other year; it was 4-0. The crowd was amazing. We got right into Madrid from the off. But I don't think we're capable of keeping the ball like that anymore. I think we've got mistakes in us. We're giving the ball away all the time. We played Arsenal. It was 1-1. And then within a 2-3 minutes, we're giving the ball away. They score. We give the ball away again. They score. So you do that against Real Madrid, I'm sorry, it's game over. But Jude Bellingham, midfield, last season, outstanding. You know what I mean? Talk of Madrid. This season, has he been as good, or is he just sort of leveling out a little bit?
No, actually, I mean, the point is, last season with the goal scoring heights, he was never going to reach that numbers again. That's the point. And, last season we didn't have a proper number 9. This season, the addition of Kylian Mbappe literally, kind of takes away a bit of, the attacking space from Jude Bellingham. And that's the thing, like this season, he's just, moved further away from goal, hence, the lack of, a goal scoring output like last year. But I would say this, in my opinion, Jude Bellingham alongside Fede Valverde, I think, are the two most important players that we have at Real Madrid right now. And the thing is, like a lot of people who do not watch games, or rather, have a different understanding of games, like they kind of assume that because you do not see the numbers for Jude, like, the goals and the assists, because they think like he has regressed. But in my opinion, actually, his influence on the team has even grown even more this year. Okay, not in the sense of the goal outputs, but you can see, like, the way he wins the ball back, starts to attack. I mean, even if you watch our games, like in the UCL, I think he was against Brest. I think there was a goal. I think he literally started the attack and he was there to finish the attack as well. You understand? So like this is the thing. Like right now, like we're seeing Jude Bellingham, taking the role that actually he was brought to play for Real Madrid. Last year was an anomaly because we didn't have a number 9. No one expected Benzema to live the year before that. There was no number 9. Carlo Ancelotti did what he does best, which is he used, the players that he has to the optimum of their abilities, without complaining about needing extra, reinforcements. He put Jude Bellingham in an unorthodox role. We got stuff out. But right now, since we got Kylian Mbappe, we've actually brought Jude back into the middle of the park. And this is the reason why I do think what you highlighted is going to be very important. Because I think we as Real Madrid, we're going to go to low block. If you remember what similar to what we played last year, similar to what we played the year you guys, trounced us 4-0 as well, similar to what we played the year we knocked you guys out as well. So what's going to happen in that game is going to be, we're going to let you guys have a lot of the ball. But right now, the City is not the City of last year or the City of the treble season. So now we're going to have a lot more turnovers. So the question is, are we going to be able to make that, get that ball and spin it out quickly to the left or to the right? So the point is, we're going to have to win those balls. And now when you have a player like Jude Bellingham, who almost is guaranteed to win almost every tackle he goes into, that ability now to throw the ball out wide, isolating our wingers against your fullbacks or center backs, I think is going to be, the key if we as Real Madrid are going to win this game. And I am quite, comfortable with the chances, against City, because we've seen, like, as you rightly pointed, look at the game against Arsenal, look at, even the games in the Champions League as well. And City's midfield, is no longer as it is once upon a time. In the past, you literally could not lay a glove on City's midfield. You literally could not, get the ball back. You'd be chasing shadows, man. I mean, I remember the game at the Etihad, that 4-0, man. I keep saying it. We could have been playing till today and we wouldn't have been out of our half. We even weren't defending in our half. We were defending in our box. That's how good City were on the night, you understand? But right now, the City doesn't have that execution anymore. So I do think there's a room, to exploit that, winning the ball back, in the middle of the park and starting the counter-attack, and isolating the fullbacks or the defenders 1v1 against our wingers.
Yeah, I agree. This season, we've been basically cutting our own throat. We've been giving away gifts. It's been like Christmas time at the Etihad. We're giving the ball away a lot. We're just basically giving people a goal start, making it hard for ourselves. If we do that against Real Madrid, it's game over. But you are right. Like even last season, Real Madrid came to the stadium. They sat deep. City didn't take the chances. It got to penalties, and you won on penalties. And we spoke about it last night. Like, I feel like if the game had gone the other way and Manchester City had won, I feel like the Madristas would have got a bit mad at the way Ancelotti played, because it's Real Madrid and it looked like they came there. But like you said to me, the objection of the game was to get through. So Madrid came, they did what they needed to do, and they got through. I know it might not have been pretty, but they got the job done. And I think after the season before, where they got hammered and played off the park and embarrassed, I think that Ancelotti thought, well, if I go there again and we get embarrassed again, the fans are going to be on me. So I'm going to go there, I'm going to use my brain, and we're going to work hard. And then they got the result. But I feel this time, the Manchester City midfield, our midfield is not the midfield without Rodri in there. I don't think we can keep the ball like we used to. I feel like there's a mistake in us somewhere. So I don't know. I think Pep's going to have something up his sleeve. I feel like he's got something in his head. A few times this season, we have used Haaland like long with Ederson. You know, if you can put Haaland on the centre back and go straight direct, that might be an option. But Kylian Mbappe, obviously, fantastic player. Everyone in the world wanted him. He got to Madrid. And at first, he seemed to start a little bit slow, and people, I think, were expecting too much. But he seems to be doing all right, doesn't he, Farouk? He's growing into the role. The pressure is easing a bit because he's scoring goals. I mean, what have you made of Mbappe so far?
Yeah, I think you rightly, mentioned that the point is, I think like the expectations were just too high at the beginning, from people like myself as well. Like we expected that, like Kylian is just going to join the team and, take us to the next level. And unfortunately, that hasn't happened straight away. But right now, he's slowly getting into the, into gears. But I'd, just mentioned this, like, although you're talking about like the fact that he scored goals, like Kylian Mbappe has had a very good statistics, like since he's joined Real Madrid. When you look at the goals, I think he has like 22 goals, 23 goals, and like 4 assists or something like that. And he's like averaging a goal contribution literally every 100 minutes. But when you watch the games, up until, I think December, Kylian Mbappe was laboring in the team. Kylian Mbappe was just there, and like, okay, he was scoring here and there, penalties and this and that, but he wasn't, he wasn't the kind of player you're the superstar you're getting. He wasn't the player like the marquee signing you were expecting. But right now, in the last 2 months, I'd say Kylian Mbappe has arrived, or rather, he's starting to arrive. Honestly, like now he's playing together with the others, bringing others into play, and taking on people, trying to beat people 1v1, with the pace and scoring goals from impossible angles. But yeah, I mean, I still think that there's still a lot, to get from the front three we have right now, in sense of like the gel together. But like, make no mistake, like Kylian Mbappe has arrived, and that's the thing about Real Madrid under Carlo Ancelotti. Mostly, you would attest to this. Like, we're a team of moments. If you remember, as you were saying, you were thinking about going to Paris, 90 seconds later, it's like, okay, yeah, we're back to Blackpool. That's just a thing. So we're a team of moments. And, that's a thing that Carlo Ancelotti does best, I think, ahead of every other coach, is the ability of him to put the players into the position that they can shine the most as individuals, not as a team. You understand? Yeah. So I do think this is also something to keep in mind, especially when we go to the Etihad, because as you're saying right now, the game last year, if we had lost, it would have been an issue. But I do think the thing you should also, put in mind is this, Steve. The Etihad is no longer what it was in the past. People go to the Etihad now the way they go to the Bernabeu. People go to the Etihad now the way they go to Anfield. People go to the Etihad now the way they go to the Allianz in Germany. You understand? Because now they know that for the past 4 years, either Real Madrid or Man City has been in the Champions League final. For the past 3 years, they've won this title together, between themselves. So the point now is that at least for the past 4 years, the point is you either have to defeat Real Madrid or Man City to get through. So now it's no longer the fact that, oh yeah, we're gonna go, to England to the Etihad and just play them out of the park. No, you have to give the respect to this team. So this is the thing right now.
We got to crank the atmosphere up tomorrow. We did okay against Bruges, but it wasn't good enough for me. We've got to crank the atmosphere up tomorrow. There's a lot of people scrambling for tickets. There's a lot of people. The game's going to be sold out, could sold out 3 times over, but we've got to turn up as fans. We turned up in that one last year as well. We were good. I've said it on a few channels that I've been on. The 1894 and myself, we've got a banner that they asked me opinion for a banner for the game tomorrow. So I gave them a banner, and it's been approved, and it's going to be in the South Stand, and I can't tell you what it is. But when you see it, you'll think, yes, Big Steve's done the banner there. He's done us proud. So I'm looking forward to that. But I think the City fans have got a lot to play, like the Madrid fans in the Bernabeu when they needed to get behind the team and they give it that extra push and things happen. And I think that's what we've got to do tomorrow. We've got to make sure things happen. You know what I mean? But The midfield for Madrid, the midfield situation. Our midfield this season has been patched up. It's not ideal. What's your midfield going to be?
Yeah, man. I mean, tomorrow we're gonna have to, as I said, we're gonna have to play our best midfielder, Federico Valverde, as a right back. So that's one player short, and that means we're gonna have to play most likely a combination of Dani Ceballos, who has been a revelation this season. I think a lot of fans of the English football will be like, yeah, what's Dani Ceballos doing? For Real Madrid, but like he's been a revelation this season. Honestly, I think it's gonna be a midfield of Dani Ceballos and Eduardo Camavinga, as well as Jude Bellingham. I do think like maybe we might be surprised. At least I will be surprised to see Luka Modric start this game. But I do think, Luka Modric will have also, an impact of the game in the second half. But I will go, and I do expect to see a midfield trio of, Camavinga, Ceballos, and Bellingham.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where we're going to go with it. Nico Gonzalez, Kovacic, Bernardo maybe for energy. He could even play Gundo for experience. He might play Foden in the middle, De Bruyne in the middle. We literally don't know at the minute what Pep's thinking, you know what I mean, and how he's going to line up. But I think there's going to be some key battles across the park. I mean, for us, obviously, our main man is Erling Haaland. He's a player you've watched from afar. He was linked to Madrid that first season. He signed for City. I mean, usually it's Rudiger and Haaland fighting all game, wrestling each other, falling onto the ground, arguing. I feel like Erling could get a little bit of joy if we actually get the ball in the box. But like I've said to you before this season, the wingers are reluctant to sling it in the box because if we get caught on the break, especially against your guys with the pace you've got, I think it's game over. So I'm very intrigued to see how City play. But I mean, from an outside view, from a Madrid view, what's your thoughts of Erling Haaland and his time at City when you see him winning the treble and breaking the records? I mean, is he someone that worries you?
Man, I mean, for me, the whole Haaland saga is just, what could have been, honestly. Him wearing the white with the number 9 behind it, Vini, Rodrigo, Honestly, for me, that summer when he joined City, I was like, abandon the move for Kylian Mbappe. Go and get Erling Haaland. But the problem then was actually we had, Karim Benzema that year. So at the point that was a problem. Like Karim Benzema is in the Ballon d'Or winning form. You're not gonna go get, Erling Haaland when you have a Ballon d'Or winning striker, you understand? So this was the thing. But Haaland played against us the last 2 seasons, didn't score. And as you said, it's, the whole battle between, Rudiger and Erling Haaland. And Rudiger has been, the key. And also Thibaut Courtois had also some fantastic save last year as well to deny Erling Haaland, breaking his deadlock for Man City against Real Madrid. But Erling Haaland, man, I really don't know what to say. Like, there is no adjective to define him. The man is just a machine. The man is just a machine. And I do think, he signed the 9-year contract with City and all that, but I'm not gonna lie, Steve. I still have that hope that one day he's gonna come to the Bernabeu and don that that white shirt for a while as well. Because I do feel like he's still very young. You understand? So contracts are meant to be broken. And if there is a player, as his agent has mentioned that Haaland is a $1 billion player. You understand? So I do feel like the record that's there and the transfer record. This is what Real Madrid does. We break transfer records every now and then. So I do think Haaland is a player that you can do that for. And that's the thing. You look right now, even City is out of form, Haaland's out of form. But this is the thing, like Haaland still, I think, has almost 30 goals contribution this season. He's just behind Mo Salah in the Golden Boot run, and Mo Salah is having a world-class season, you understand? And like Haaland is down, but he's just 1 goal behind, Salah in Salah's, world-class season. So that tells you what you need to know about Erling Haaland. And the thing I love about Haaland, again, is the fact that we talk about total football, pressing, you talk about the false line and this and that. Haaland needs just 1 touch, 2 touches to score. I remember the first season he joined City, there was a talk about, he had 7 touches in the first half, he had this. And then there was a game you guys played against Palace, in London. Haaland had 4 touches in the first half and he scored 2 goals.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, this is Big Earl, you know what I mean? And the thing is with Erling Haaland, people need to realise he has got a bit of an affinity to Manchester City through his dad, and there's pictures of him watching Manchester City in the cup final and that. And to sign a 9-year, 10-year deal, I think he's bought a new house here. He's living in an apartment. He's bought a new house here. He's just recently become a father. It looks like he's down in his roots. It looks like because his career has been managed so well by his dad and his agent. They brought him on. They've not just chased the money. They brought him on the steps all along and built him up and built him up and built him up. And now he got where he is. I feel like he's also been advised, look, put some roots down, look after your family, enjoy your football, and get settled down. And in any football club in the world, you can't just keep scoring at his rate, because it's not possible. So there's going to be times when you're not going to score, you're up and down, but it's how you bounce back. I do believe he's getting better as a player. I feel like he's adding more things to his game rather than scoring. And I believe that at every club before Manchester City, he was the main man. Everything went through Haaland. It was Haaland, 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 Haaland. At Manchester City, he's not. He can barely have a touch of the ball in the half. It's all about everybody else, the build-up, how we're playing. It's about the team. And then Haaland is there to finish. So his job at Man City is do not switch off. You might think you're not having a touch, but you're going to get one. When you get one, you need to put it away. And he does. And, recently we've seen him smiling a lot and kissing the badge and stuff like this. And listen, if I signed a 10-year contract at Manchester City on 500 grand a week, I'd be smiling and kissing the badge. I'd be if I signed a 10-year contract at £50 a week at Man City, I'd be smiling. But I feel like he's due a big one. I feel like he's due something special soon in the Champions League. And like you say, I hope he can do it. But as far as wearing the white of Real Madrid, I think it's not going to happen, that, Farouk. You need to take that out of your head. Go and find somebody else. Leave him alone.
Let me tell you something, Steve, man. Haaland has been breaking records left, right, center. But I just feel like, that's the scary part. There is more to come from this guy. You understand? This is even the more scary part. There is more to come from this guy. And honestly, I do think that if he was playing in Spain, not in the Premier League, I think he'd have almost gotten double of the goals he got for you guys. Honestly,
yeah.
I think if he was playing, and also because the point is also, as you rightly mentioned, Pep has a system whereby it's never about there is no one main protagonist. It's always about the team and the collective. You understand? But then for Real Madrid, this is what we've done over and over again. We have brought the player to the very top of above the collective. We've done this with Cristiano Ronaldo. We've done this with Karim Benzema. We've done this with Vinicius Junior. Now we're going to do it with Kylian Mbappe. Last year we did it with Jude Bellingham as well. So I feel like if Haaland had gotten into that position at Real Madrid, I do feel, because there are a lot of situations whereby I see, for instance, I remember I think last year or 2 years ago, they were the pundits in England and like, oh yeah, Haaland has the IQ of a League Two footballer or some shit like that. So I kind of feel
Roy Keane, crazy, man.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel like, this kind of things coming from, the media as well has a propensity to put pressure on a player like this. But I don't know, man. I mean, as you said, a 10-year contract is a big deal, but I do feel like, I'm not losing hope yet, man. I just still hold that little bit, the allure that the White House holds, the white jersey holds, everyone wants to play for Real Madrid when they were a kid, so I hope that, hopefully one day that, eventually trumps, the love he has to Man City or, the affinity he has for you guys.
There's one thing I want to talk about. I think you know what it is. Rodri, Ballon d'Or winner. He won the Ballon d'Or ahead of Vinicius Junior. We've seen Cristiano, your greatest player, win the Ballon d'Or many times. And many times he's turned up at the awards. He's finished second to Messi, but he was there. This time, the way Real Madrid looked in the media and looked to us was like they really, really were sore losers. The way they didn't get on the plane, the way they didn't fly over there, the way they didn't, represent the club, and it seemed a little bit crazy. From a Real Madrid point of view, as a fan of Madrid, what was the fans' verdict? Was the fans like, no, Vinicius should have won it, don't go over there, this award's rubbish? Or was it like, hold on a minute, come on, we've got to take it on the chin? Because Rodri obviously is Spanish, what he did for Spain as well, what he did for City. I also think the year before we were robbed with Erling Haaland, with the Messi thing. I do think we were robbed, but what was the feeling in Spain about it? Was it a little bit of embarrassment? Do you think they regret that decision, or was it like, no, fair enough, we don't need to go?
Yeah, man, I'm gonna say this, actually, it's more like there's been a division there. Honestly, they're like a group of people who actually felt like, Vini was robbed, and the whole Ballon d'Or is now shambolic. It's an award that has no value, and this and that. What is and what is not. But I personally felt like Vini was the best player in the world last year. But saying that, Rodri deserved it. Rodri, it's not like, they woke up and gave this award to, Ademola Lookman from Atalanta. It's not like this is the person who won the trophy, you understand? It's Rodri who won this trophy. He won the league. He was in the semi-final of the Champions League, and he was pivotal for Spain in the European Championships as well. So he's a deserved winner. But who do I think was the right winner? I think Vini was the right winner. However, in my opinion, Real Madrid really shot the bed with what they did. And that's the thing, like, it's setting a bad precedent. And as you rightly said, so the greatest player that I have seen play for Real Madrid, Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo was going year in, year out when Messi was winning. Messi won 4 in a row, if you remember. Messi won 4 in a row. And Cristiano was going everywhere, every year, dressing up, having the haircut, his wife, his girlfriend, his child, his mother, all of his family members in Etihad, they were going with a private jet to the events every year for 4 straight years. And then Vinicius Jr. comes and he doesn't win. And then, unfortunately, the club, supported his decision to not go and boycott, putting in mind that you had the manager of the year, team of the year, you had like 4 or 5 players in the, in the XI as well. So it was quite unfortunate, and it was quite sad that, this is what Real Madrid chose to do. And as an institution like Real Madrid, I was surprised that, they let that happen, especially, considering, as I said, when you consider who Cristiano was, Vinicius is nobody. You understand? Yeah. So if Cristiano was going there for 4 years on the spin, not winning the awards, especially when he knew even beforehand, it was a shame, honestly. It was a shame. It was a shame, and it's unfortunate, and I feel like this is a bad precedent that has been set. But it is what it is, this is what the club, has decided. But that's the thing, sometimes the clubs make a lot of decisions that, even you as fans do not support. And this is just one of those instances as well. And unfortunately, it's something that Vini needs to grow up about. You need to take that as a motivation. You go there, watch Rodri lift the Ballon d'Or, and use that as a motivation that, okay, next year it has to be me. You use that as a fuel to, to grow and be a better player. But unfortunately, they chose a different direction, which I do not support, but it is what it is. That's just, there's nothing we can do about that.
Just talking about the manager, obviously Pep Guardiola, what he's won and achieved in the game, in English football. He said he couldn't do it. He was going to come here. He was going to get knocked around a bit. He couldn't do these tactics. What he's won, what he's achieved, the way he's done it, the unique things in English football he's won. 4 in a row. They said you couldn't win 3 in a row. We won 4. You'll never win the treble. We won the treble. Centurions, highest ever points total in English football. He's doing it his way. Bit like Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, when it comes to European football and comes to this competition, he's probably the one you want in the dugout. He always finds a way of doing it. Is this going to be his last year at Madrid, or is he going to hopefully stay on? And what's the feeling around him in Madrid? I mean, surely to God, he's a legend there now, and he can do no wrong.
Definitely, you're right. I mean, Carlo can do no wrong. Carlo's going to be there till, I don't see a situation where Carlo leaves, because even he said this, he said this, I think a couple of weeks back, that Florentino Perez has renewed his contract, has been elected for another 4 years as president. He wants to end together with, Florentino, at the end of it all. So Carlo is not living. Carlo is there, and that's the thing, at least on the European level, I think there is no one that can, that can say anything to Carlo. You understand? You can maybe say something about the titles he's won at club level or something like that, but Carlo has proved this time and time again that he's a coach that can win with the players that he's given. And I think that's one of the main reasons why he's a coach of Real Madrid right now. Can you just imagine going the winter transfer window with a coach like Mourinho, Guardiola, or Antonio Conte, and not signing a centre back, not signing a right back? It's impossible. But this is what Carlo does. Carlo just takes it on the chin and be like, okay, this is a limitation that we have. We have to find a solution to that. And the players all love Carlo. Carlo is a player's manager, more or less. He's a manager that will find a way to allow his players to shine the best, without limiting, or rather, while also masking their deficiencies. And this is what he has done for a lot of our players. So this is the thing, they love Carlo to the bits. But when you come and ask me my own personal opinion, I do think, a cycle has to end. And I do feel like, with the way we have been playing for the past 18 months, people will be like, oh, but you just won, the double and all that. But then when you look at it, as you rightly mentioned as well, Steve, the game against City last year, it's not a Real Madrid performance, And when we see all the games that we've been playing this year, I do think, there is a growth that is to be had somewhere. The evolution needs to happen. And I just don't feel like, Carlo is the right person to make this happen. But saying all of that still, Carlo is at the helm right now, and he has the total trust of the fans and the board. And even, I don't know if you guys know, but earlier this year, after we got beaten 5-1 by Barcelona in Saudi Arabia, the first game at the Bernabeu, Carlo Ancelotti's name was booed actually by the fans.
Right. So yeah. It's Madrid, mate. Listen, you've got to be special to manage Madrid, because if you start to lose games there, especially against Barcelona, the fans don't like it. We got beat off one of the worst Manchester United teams I've ever seen in my fucking life after winning 1-0 this season. And so I know how you feel. I'm never going to boo Pep Guardiola, but I tell you what, if I could see him that night, I'd have liked to give him a bit of a shake. But it's always frustrating, mate. But just let me tell people, please, people, hit the like button on your way in. Please go and check out Farouk's channel with the lads over at Let's Be Real Podcast. We're going to put the link in the bio. If you've sent a super chat in, Daps is in the back end and he's been trying to keep, he's a bit busy, so it's not as running smooth as we thought today. But there's one there from Abra Hassan for £1. Thank you for the support, Hassan. Really appreciate it. And yeah, Farouk, I think we're going to wrap it up. I think we'll wrap it up with a match prediction. I want you to go first because you're the guest. Let me know what you think the score will be.
Yeah, man, I think it's going to be a scoring draw, man. I do think it's going to be a scoring draw. It's going to be, I think it's going to be a game of a very, high level game at the beginning, and then towards the end, it's just going to slow down out. And I think, we're going to bring on Luka Modric, we're going to be on Kevin De Bruyne to get a control in the middle of the park. But I do think we're going to start with a lot of, high transitions and, losing the ball in the middle of the park and trying to run at the defenders. And I'm expecting, something like a 2-2 draw at the, at the Etihad, and then we can go to the Bernabeu and, just kill you guys off once and for all.
2-2 Farouk. I'm going to go for 2-1 Man City. Get the job done here. And then next week, the Bernabeu is another kettle of fish. Don't even want to talk about it. I just want to make sure I'm flying out to Madrid on Monday with something to play for. But anyway, people, please hit the like button. Please leave a comment in the chat. We'll get back to you. Please check out the Let's Be Real podcast. These lads are great lads. They're great friends of mine and the City fans. They met us in Madrid. We've got a great relationship with their channel. Give them a little bit of support. Give them a little bit of a love, and go and follow them there. But anyway, people, if you're going to the Etihad tomorrow, bring your voice, bring the pride, get the heart going. Let's get that crowd ramped up. And if you're not, make sure you're shouting at the teller, get lots of positive energy, and come on, City. See you all soon. Thanks.
Real Madrid.
See you later. That's us.